Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready for some terrible news from David Gordon Green, the director of Halloween Ends, the director of the recent Halloweens? Did you know he's doing the new Exorcist films? That's a continuation of the previous story. Yeah, people think he's the messiah of horror. Yeah. Well, he's not, is he? We've established that. He's established that. And he's acting very strange in interviews as if he believes he's the messiah of horror. And it's kind of beyond reproach. It's tragic levels of sort of God complex coming through from this chap. So we're going to dive into this today. Basically, he rebukes William Friedkin having a role with his Exorcist films. Obviously, William Friedkin did The Exorcist. You know that incredibly famous little film? Just that little film. That's, somehow the cult classic, The Exorcist. Yeah. But he doesn't just say, no, he won't be involved. He almost goes some lengths to being quite insulting as well. I mean, I'll get to it and we'll see what you guys think. I think it's insulting. Before we do, ladies and gents, Halloween Ends, I've spoken about extensively on live streams recently, which you can find linked below in the description box, is my live stream channel where there's clips and highlight videos, and some of them will be about Halloween Ends, and about some of the stuff we'll be covering today. Not all of it, but just some of it for background on David Gordon Green's nonsensical mindset recently. So check it out, it's linked in the description box, you won't be disappointed. But let's dive into this first. Halloween Ends director says he never considered making a Laurie and Michael movie. Now this is important as a bit of background before we get to his comments on William Friedkin, because he's just a dick in this. It is baffling to me. We had to decide how we wanted to wrap up these characters, because it's the third film, right? So you've got to wrap it up. How do we want to make it not just a nice, neat bow on a franchise? Just as an FYI, why would you not want to make it a nice, neat bow on a franchise? Why? Why wouldn't you want to do that? Why would you want to create a messy, tangentially connected film, such as Halloween Ends? Bizarre. We never once considered making a Laurie and Michael movie. The concept that it should be a final showdown type brawl never even crossed our minds. I wanted to see where it would go. I wanted one to win, one to die, but we were always more ambitious with that. So how do we want to go out? By doing what no one expected us we would do, make a love story. It's our version of going out with a bang. That's the most anticlimactic ending for a trilogy you could possibly have come up with. And he fundamentally just doesn't understand what people want. How do we want to make it not just a nice, neat bow on a franchise? People wanted that. People wanted this to feel like, one, it was connected to the other films, because it didn't feel like it was connected at all. But secondly, they wanted it to wrap up. It's the end of a franchise. Wrap it up. Even leave it open for others to return, but wrap it up. Wrap up the Laurie and Michael story. You idiot. So, this guy comes out and says this kind of stuff. And fundamentally just shows that he is an idiot and does not understand what people want, which is really bad because he's now working on The Exorcist, right? He's working on The Exorcist, continuation. And this is his horrible, flippant remarks. So he was interviewed and he was asked, finally, will William Friedkin have a role in your new Exorcist trilogy? So yeah, ladies and gents, we've got 3 of these. Like John Carpenter did in the Halloween trilogy. He won't. Alright, perfect, great. Maybe he's got a good reason for that. On this journey, we picked Ellen Burstyn to be our spiritual guru. Our Exorcist is linked narratively by its characters, but it isn't in terms of stylistic parallels. I'm not leaning into what Friedkin did, but it is going deep into who Chris McNeil is and what she brought to the table. Without giving away too much, the tools and insights that she's utilised over 50 years find a new application. Ellen's the one we've brought on board, and we filmed 8 days with her a year ago to do some technical and creative explorations. And next week, we get back in the ring. So to answer your question, Friedkin's not involved in this. If he's as good as Carpenter, if he's as good as John Carpenter at making music, we'll get him to do a song in the movie. He can do a trombone version of Tubular Bells. Are you for real? Come on now, mate. Come on. Come on. You can't be serious. You can't be drinking your own Kool-Aid that much. You doing what South Park did, you farting and smelling it. You smug prick. What are you doing? What are you doing? You know, sure, don't have him involved. That's fine. But don't flippantly remark, well, if he's good at making music, we'll get him to do a, you know, get him to do a song. You horrible person. You're drinking your own Kool-Aid, mate. No one, your Halloween films were crap. And he's even asked, how do you respond to negative feedback for Halloween Ends? It's funny when someone says, build your dream house on this real estate using this title and these characters. Everybody's going to find a different little thing that's meaningful for them and they'll make it their own. That's what I did. For every bite of backlash, you also get people that are thanking you for taking it to a new place and keeping it alive and full of love. I think the full of love part was the thing that people didn't like, you know? Because remember, ladies and gents, he never once considered actually making a Michael and Laurie film. Because why would you do that? Why would you want to bookend a franchise with that? Seriously, why would you want to do that? How bizarre. Goodness me, why would anyone in their right mind want to make a nice neat bow to the franchise? Why? Why, I hear you ask? I know, I didn't think my voice could go that high either. But yeah, honestly, just complete nonsense. I don't have any hope for these Exorcist films at all, genuinely at all. I don't think these are going to be particularly good. Another trilogy? Expect him to insert another random love story where it's not thematically relevant in any way, shape or form, where it doesn't tie to the other films in any way, shape or form. And get ready for a very unsatisfactory end to his new Exorcist trilogy. Just like, because we've seen it already. I don't understand, since when was David Gordon Green suddenly hailed as a horror triumph? Since when? Because he's also on board to direct the Hellraiser and showrun the Hellraiser series for HBO, which was supposedly getting off the ground. Since when was David Gordon Green this be-all and end-all for horror? He's garbage.